Hi, welcome to the Handy Guys, and today we're going to talk about a project many homeowners are interested in, and that is replacing old faucets.
That's right, whether it be your kitchen faucet, Paul, or your bathroom faucet. We'll talk about some of the steps, some of the considerations, and what tools you need to do the project.
All right, so let's start with the kitchen. In this particular kitchen, I have a very basic faucet here. Would this be something I'd want to consider for this sink?
This is not a good candidate for you, Paul, because notice you have 4 holes on your sink here. This is for a 3-hole setup.
So there's 3 holes underneath this plate, and then there's the extra hole for the soap dispenser.
This one is just a single handle faucet. Now you can get this with a sprayer, you can get it with a soap dispenser, you can get it with both. So you need to consider what you have in place.
So you can buy your faucet kit for your kitchen sink with the proper accessories based on the type of sink you have. So if it has 2 accessories, then you would get it with, the soap and the side sprayer or whatever.
Exactly, but some of these have sprayers built in. If you have an extra hole, they have little filler pieces you can put in, but that doesn't necessarily look the best.
Okay.
And you can also drill new holes if you're adding a feature or an accessory, but that can be a little complicated sometimes.
It won't work for certain sinks. But the main thing you want to consider, though, when you're going to replace this is to be sure that you have a shutoff valve under the sink for the water.
The shutoff valve is critical. If you don't have a shutoff valve at all under your sink, it's probably not a do-it-yourself project. You're going to need a plumber to come in and install one of those for you. You may also want to know where your main shutoff valve is. Sometimes you'll have a little drip and you might want to turn that off as an extra precaution.
The other thing to consider is what size hoses do you need? So these usually come with some pipe or hose. Some have full-length hoses already connected. This doesn't, so I'm going to need to attach a hose, and typically it's a 1/2 inch connection on one side, and on your supply side 3/8 inches.
Right into the shutoff valve.
But if it's not, then you're going to have to run to the hardware store to get the proper hose.
And you're going to want to measure this before you go. But pro tip here, do this project when the hardware store is open. Inevitably, you've got the wrong size hose or a different fitting. You've left something out and you need to run to the store. Happens to me every time, it seems.
So what about when we look at vanities or pedestal sinks for your bathrooms? What kind of faucets
Well, those
do we need?
a very typical would be something with a 4-inch spread, either a single handle or a dual handle like that.
So this is called a narrow set.
A narrow set or a 4-inch set. You may also have a wide set, Paul, where you have the holes that are offset, maybe 8 inches, maybe 10 inches, or some other arbitrary number in between. You'll have the hot and cold separate from the filler spout.
Right, so when you purchase these, you get it as a wide set or as a narrow set, and they come like this. They have the hose connections, right built into them, so you're ready to go.
And you may also end up replacing your drain to match your faucet.
So this drain here is a brass colored to match a brass colored faucet, and that comes with the product. So you have a matching hardware. Okay. So that makes a lot of sense, and again, you need to make sure you have the shutoff valve, whether it be in your bathroom or your powder room or what have you. Okay, so Brian, what do we need to consider as far as tools for this project?
Well, you're going to need wrenches.
Yeah, so I have an adjustable wrench here.
You're probably going to need something like that. You may
need a basin wrench.
You may need a basin wrench for under the sink.
And what are these?
These are slip joint pliers. These are good for drain connections, also for supply line connections. They're adjustable to different sizes.
Obviously screwdrivers.
You might need those.
You want a flashlight.
You need to have good lighting wherever you're doing this project.
And plumber's putty.
You may need plumber's putty. Follow the directions that come with the faucet. It'll tell you exactly where to put this. It may have gaskets instead. You may also need something called Teflon tape. But again, follow the instructions. Use the Teflon tape where it's called for in the instructions. Don't put it anywhere else.
And what about this fancy tool?
This is a faucet wrench. This is a newfangled faucet wrench. The old ones used to have a little spring-loaded thing. And there's different settings or different configurations of this depending on your faucet. It can connect up to make that easier to work in a tight spot under a sink.
So there you have it. So most of the tools are fairly basic. There are some specific tools for plumbing. Again, access to the hardware store is helpful, and you can get the job done. So it's a job that a lot of homeowners can accomplish in maybe an hour or two.
Absolutely.
All right, so there you have it, and thanks for watching the Handy Guys.
Thanks.